What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Real life Nick Birch here, and yeah, I'm coming out with my usual Wednesday video, but I'm not gonna be able to edit this shit much because I have shit to do later, and yeah, it's probably gonna be one of the videos on the shorter side, but yeah, I hope you enjoy. It's about the time that I took a shroom bar, and as you'll probably find out in the story, that these are not actual psilocybin. It's 4-ACO-DMT, which metabolizes into a chemical called psilocin, which is what psilocybin breaks down into. But yeah, so this story's gonna be a hoot and a holler, a fucking banger. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Also, before I forget, go fuck with my homie Crollo. Yeah, his songs are always in the intros. If you haven't noticed by now, he's about to drop an album soon, and yeah, he's been making some pretty fire shit lately. So yeah, I mean, I recommend checking him out. Okay, and without any further ado, let's get straight into the fucking video.
Whoa up, whoa up, whoa up, slime. Whoa up,
Whoa up,
whoa up,
whoa up,
whoa up,
whoa up, slam. Diamond stuff frozen, I'm rolling with Jet Frost. Who can lie more like we having a cap off? Fortune teller, see the future like mascot. Hitting your dome like right where I rap off. Plug only 8 miles, imminent rap out. Smell proof container like it was a stash box. Riding in foreigns, you playing with matchbox. Let in your head, make you take your hat off. Fell on the couch in the X, I'ma crash off. Bong in the blunt while I'm driving a hot box. My crib a high spot.
got me a nigga, they call me the hot shot, boot me an ace.
Boot up an ace and I'm talking to God. What is the word? And he told me to not.
Alright, so the story takes place in November, which is hunting season in Georgia, for those of you who know. And I was scheming with a plan to go hang out with one of my friends at his house, which one of my other friends lived at. And it was kind of just like a central hub for like all of our just getting geeked and getting fucked up and everything. And yeah, I mean, I have a couple stories from there. And yeah, I mean, let me know if you want me to tell those. But yeah, it's about specifically me taking a fake shroom bar and going hunting while on shrooms with my dad, which was scary as fuck. But anyway, yeah, so I came up with a plan. I was texting one of my friends on Instagram on the Trap Top, and he said that they could meet me halfway and pick me up like they usually do. And so I get all my shit, I go grab my Nick, and I go out my window, get on my bike, and I start biking to a fucking church near my house. And it's about like halfway to his house, and I see their car. It's missing one fucking headlight, and it's a loud-ass BMW, so I knew it was them. And I hop in the car, but first they get out, and we all load my bike up into the fucking car, which was dope as fuck. Like, I was just chilling with my bike, and I got a picture. I'll see if I can find it. If I can't, it's whatever then, but I would throw it on screen right about now if I can find it. But yeah, so after getting in the car, we get back to his house, which is dead-ass like a 3-minute drive, and we're chilling in his basement. We're watching fucking South Park. I'm hitting, like, I had my Nick, and then there was like fucking 4 of them, like 4 different ones, and they all had carts and shit. And my homie Cash was there. And yeah, this is important because me and one of my friends, the friend that invited me over there, we were smoking, like, he found cigarettes, or he got like a shit ton of cigarettes, and we gutted them and put the tobacco in a fucking bong. And it's the same bong that I'll make a future video about, because it's the first bong I ever hit. And that shit had like weed residue and some of the dirtiest fucking bong water you've ever seen. Like, that shit had like leftover fucking Scooby snacks in the fucking bong water and in the fucking bowl. Nevertheless, we're sitting outside. I got my lighter. I packed the bowl, and I'm hitting it with one of my friends, and I'm getting like a nice buzz. And I had some tobacco from a blunt that I gutted. And since I can't smoke weed right now, most of my friends, whenever they smoke blunts, they'll gut the cigarillos and then they'll give me the fucking tobacco, and that's pretty nice. But yeah, so we're done smoking that, and I was like, oh shit, I'm buzzed as fuck, and I'm kind of high, because we were smoking like the fucking weed residue, the fucking wax reclaim. But yeah, so we go back inside, we're watching fucking South Park, and his mom came downstairs, and we walked back outside, but we didn't know that. So she scared the shit out of us whenever she said she was leaving, but she told us like, yada yada, the neighbors have cameras, so don't do any fuck shit. And yeah, she'll be gone. And his brother came down, I met his brother. And yeah, it was pretty dope. And then they left, and we went back outside to go smoke out of my little one-hitter, because I didn't want to get any higher than I was and have weed in my system, because I was getting drug tested. And, well, actually, I got drug tested today, but I fucking passed that shit, because, you know, I'm the greatest. But whatever. Cash came out, and he said, you want to order shrooms? And I was like, yeah, is it a chocolate bar, or is it like fucking like actual shrooms? And he's like, it's a chocolate bar. And I was like, okay, well, is it homemade or is it made in a fucking a factory? And he goes, it's a polka dot. And I'd never heard of that brand much, but it was like a Samoan polka dot bar. I'll throw a picture on the screen. if I remember. But yeah, it was like a 8 gram fucking chocolate bar, and I was gonna buy 4 grams from it because I didn't want to do the whole 8 grams by myself. And Cash said, "Well, I've never done shrooms before. I want to try it." And I was like, "Okay, well, you can have a fucking gram," which I knew deep down like a gram wouldn't really do shit. Like it would just make you feel euphoric. And I was like, whatever. I just give him the gram because he tossed me the plug. He tossed me the fucking service, whatever. And this plug said it was gonna be fucking $80, $80 for 4 grams of shrooms and a chocolate bar that's not real psilocybin. And that shit pissed me off. Cause like I kind of knew, I was like, it's not gonna be the same effect as like I would taking shrooms, but whatever, fuck it, I'll just front it. So I bust out my wallet and I had like 200 in there. And why did I say 200 like that? I'm not black, whatever, 200. And yeah, so I bust out 80, and I handed it to him. He's like, "Yeah, you cannot see the homie." I was like, "Oh, you're about to hit a fucking finesse on me." He's like, "No, we're not. No, we're not. You gotta pay for his gas." I was like, "That's fucking bullshit." It's whatever. He came from Atlanta. We had to wait for like an hour actually till he pulled up, but it's whatever. So he comes back downstairs with the shroom bar, and I take a look at it. I'm inspecting the back of it. And it's like what you would see on a fucking shroom vape package. It's like 1 bite, microdose. It's like fucking 2 squares, microdose. It's like 10 squares, mega fucking mind trip. And then yeah, it's just really cringe packaging. And yeah, so it was 4 grams of the chocolate bar, which that's like half. But he's like, "Yo, can I please have a half?" So I give him a 1 gram fucking bite of the chocolate bar. And yeah, so I was kind of pissed that I couldn't take the whole 4 grams, but it's whatever. Cash eventually did shrooms like later, like way later. But yeah, I wasn't there for that, but I wish I could have been. Anyway, we're sitting on the fucking couch downstairs watching South Park, and he turns one of my homies turns South Park off, and we turn the Xbox on, so we're running COD on it, and then I'm starting to feel it, like I'm staring at like one of the tapestries they have on the wall, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I like walked over to like a cabinet, and they had like an old ass Xbox in there and like some other shit, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was kind of feeling it, like I was starting to come up, like my stomach was fucking hurting, and then I just like sit down on the couch and I'm just watching them play, and then we're talking about some shit, and my stomach starts hurting like worse than it usually does when I do shrooms. I don't know what's going on. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck? Ow." And he was like, "Are you good?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." But they were smoking. They were hitting a cart. Like, we had 3 carts, but they were hitting one of them. And my homie was really, really fucking high. He was way too high. And my homie that I gave the shroom bar, like the piece to, Cash, he didn't really feel it. He just said he got euphoric. But I was starting to feel it because I was on an empty stomach. If you take shrooms on an empty stomach, then you feel it way faster. And yeah, so I'm sitting there, and then it's about 4 in the morning, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's time to go." So my homie's like, he couldn't move. He couldn't even drive me back. Like in the story I'll tell in the future, like he drives me pretty much all the way back to my house. And it's risky for him to drive at night because he's missing a fucking headlight. Like it doesn't fucking turn on, so he can get pulled over for that. And I'm a minor, so that'd be pretty bad. But it's whatever. Me and my other homie, he was too high to move, so he didn't get off the couch. But me and my other homie, the one that invited me, we walked back up to the sign to the neighborhood. And this is not the same neighborhood that I went to at Max's, like completely different. It's way closer. And yeah, he was like saying bye, and he saw like a nick on the side of the road, so he put his like sleeve over his mouth and like tried to hit it. And of course that shit doesn't work because it had been sitting in the rain for the past couple fucking days. And we were like, okay, whatever. And so he says bye to me. I put my headphones on. I start listening to music. Put my nick in my bag. And I go start biking back to my house. So it's not even that far. Like we didn't really have to meet halfway. I could really just bike all the way to his house, and it would take like 20 minutes maybe. But yeah, the shrooms are starting to hit me harder and harder. And like I was biking home, and I was looking at something on the side of the fucking road, and it looked like a deer. But I got closer to it and tried to touch it because it wasn't moving. And it was like a fucking one of those like pipes that have like internet in it or some shit. And I just keep on going, vibing out, and then I get on this road that connects to where my fucking road is to get onto my house, and I'm looking up, and there's fucking trees. It's kind of like a fucking, there's like trees on each side and like overgrown over the top, and you can barely see the moon, and it's kind of creepy, and there's like 2 churches. But yeah, biking through that, and it feels like they're closing in on me, and I can't keep like in between the fucking lines. Like I was straddling the fucking line and shit, and I was like, oh fuck. So I finally, like, I get through that area, I bike home, I have to go down this big ass hill, and then I'm just cruising. I get home, or actually no, excuse me, before I get home I actually go to my stash. It's out of the way, like it's actually, I have to go a different way to go to the stash. But I grab an Addy because I know I'll be fucking tired, like a fucking Adderall. And put that shit in my pocket. And then I just travel back home. I get home, get on the trap top, and I text everyone that I made it home safe, and they're like, all right, good shit. And I was way too fucking tired. It was like 5 o'clock by the time I got home, because it took me a long ass time to bike home, because I was tripping balls, and I was like fucking stopping to look at shit and sit on the ground. It's whatever. It's a really hard to explain feeling unless you've done it before, but it's whatever. I tried to go to sleep, couldn't really, so alarm went off, and I got in the shower. I crushed up the Addy, I snorted it, and then I got in the truck geeked as fuck with my dad because we had to go hunting. And I was talking about it to one of my friends while I was at his house. I was like, bro, I gotta go hunting. I had to wake up in a fucking few hours to go hunting. He's like, oh shit. That's one of the reasons why I had to leave so early. But yeah, so we travel for probably 45 minutes to the place where we're hunting, and I'm tripping balls, but I'm geeked as fuck. So I can't fall asleep. And also, like, the feeling that you got from the shrooms, it was really more of a euphoric high than you would see. And yeah, I looked on the back, like, of the box, and I was trying to do research. It says it comes from California, but I did a whole lot of research about the company, and they don't include psilocybin mushrooms. They include a research chemical called 4-ACO-DMT, which does metabolize into psilocy, which is what psilocybin metabolizes into. It's a lot of science and shit. But no one wants to hear me explain it and yap about it, so it's whatever. Yeah, my dad meets up with our friend that invited us to his fucking property to go hunting, and we go set up. And I did bring my fucking phone to listen to music with, and so I'm just with my AirPods in and shit, and I'm just vibing out while we're hunting. And I'm still kind of tripping balls, and like I have the crossbow in my hand, or not the crossbow, I have the fucking deer rifle in my hand, and it's kind of hard to fucking look through it. Like the scope is moving and shit, and I'm not moving the gun. And yeah, so a few deer walk out. I decide to pass up on them. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to shoot those. And then my dad's like, okay, well, if no other deer show up, then that's what you're going to get for fucking passing up on it. But then like 5 minutes later, a really, really nice doe came out. So I fucking hammered her with this fucking 7mm 08. And yeah, she fucking falls, but she runs far. And I was like, okay, shit. So we sit there for a while. It's actually like kind of light outside, and I'm kind of coming down off the trip, but I'm still geeked as fuck. Like, we weren't hunting very long. We were hunting for maybe, like, 30, 45 minutes to an hour before the deer came out. And then we go and we find the deer. Like, we had to call his friend over. He shot a fucking boar or some shit. Like a big-ass one. So he comes over and helps us. And we go find the deer in the woods. And they're like, okay, you got to gut it. And I was like, oh, I've never done this shit before. And my dad's like, okay, yeah, I forgot about that. And then he's like, it's real simple. And so he teaches me how to gut the deer, and he's like verbally instructing me while I have a fucking scalpel in my hand. And I'm reaching in there with like the deer guts, and I'm pulling it out. And I'm like coming down the trip, so like nothing's gonna really come from like me doing this shit. It's like not gonna freak me out. But I was still geeked, so my hands were like kind of shaking, and I was like talking really fast. My dad thought it was just adrenaline, so you know, we good on that department. But then my hands were covered in blood because I kind of fucked up gutting it. I didn't cut the stomach open or anything, but yeah, I kind of just dismembered this whole fucking deer from like the ass to the pussy to like inside, and then gut its stomach open, and then got all that shit out. And then they were cleaning it, and they waited by me. I had to go wash the knife off and then wash my hands, and they were covered in blood. And it was fucking November, mind you. The water outside in the fucking creek was maybe 40 fucking degrees, maybe pushing it, way colder than the water I would fucking drink. And my hands are freezing, and like I'm geeked as shit. Like my heart's starting to race, and I'm like starting to fucking shake, and I'm having to wash this knife off, and I almost slipped and cut myself, which would have been bad. But yeah, so then I get my shit washed off, and then I go back up to where the deer was, and we all have to drag it out of the woods. And I am fucking exhausted. I hadn't slept in a day and a half, so I was like, oh well, shit. So we're dragging it, and I'm fucking falling asleep as I'm dragging it. Like the Adderall had completely like worn off because I snorted. I didn't pop it. So I'm fucking falling asleep as we're dragging it. And then like I sit back in the truck. We get like fucking alcohol wipes, and we're talking to my dad's friend. And we didn't do anything with his boar because, you know, he didn't really want that shit. But yeah. Anyway, I fucking fall asleep in the truck on the way back, and we have the deer in the back, and we go all the way to the fucking food processor, which is 40 minutes away from my house, an hour away from the fucking the place we were at. Not 40 minutes away from my house, but like 20, 25. We go out of the way of our house to go to the fucking food processor instead of dropping my ass off first and let me go take a nap. But it's whatever. So yeah, and then that happens, and then I gotta go to my little brother's basketball game. So yeah, I was kind of crashing down like off the Adderall and shit. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that story. Hope it was like interesting and it made your day better or whatever the fuck. If it didn't, fuck you. Hope you die in a fire. Actually, that's not nice. It's whatever. Anyway, I gotta go take my dog out because he's looking at me. Yeah. Anyway, if you want me to continue with the daily fucking uploads every Wednesday, yeah, hit the like button. And I know my last video flopped, and that's because I didn't title it like something crazy. Like, it was literally deadass just titled First Time Biking to Max. Like, didn't mention that we drank alcohol and did graffiti, but, you know, those who watched it, you know, I fuck with y'all. Anyway, yeah, have a good rest of your day. That's about it.